Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining yet another webinar on Cold Outreach Playbook. So, we are personally very excited to conduct these webinars because of all the interesting changes and the happenings, going on in our industry. I have been a marketer for over a decade now, and I've been running Cold Outreach along with my friend Sham here for more than 7 years. And in 2025, things are much more interesting than ever before. Right? I still remember 5 to 7 years back when we used to run cold emails. It was all about, finding the list, and sending them email and personalizing them by hi first name. Your company needs this. So that was the level of personalization that was normal. But in 2025, with thanks to AI, and the automation and the workflows and AI agents and whatnot, things have become so interesting. And now the possibilities are endless. Okay. This webinar is all about how to send cold email in a way that you get more than 50% or even 60, 70% open rate and more than 30, 40, 50% click through. That's the whole goal of this particular playbook. Here, we are going to talk about the basic playbook that we follow. A lot of stuff that we are going to follow are the standard operating procedure that we follow. It's a very comprehensive standard operating procedure that we follow for our enterprise client. And this, we run it for startups as well as, multi-million dollar companies. Some of the companies that we work for goes into hundreds of millions of dollars. The process is more comprehensive, but the steps are more or less same. It's not, what you do that matters, but also how you do that matters. And we are going to go through the how of the playbook. Okay. A lot of stuff that we're going to talk about is building the platform, the basics of cold email as a system. And on top of that, you can add a lot of layers. So we will have upcoming webinars in which we are going to talk about the AI layer, the workflow layer, the automation engine layer. All of that will be covered up. But this is the bare minimum, the bare plateau that needs to be done. And this is a very important part of the project, because if this is not done correctly, if the emails are not landing up in the inbox, if it is landing up in spam, if the domains and the mailboxes are getting blacklisted, you have lost the game even before you started. So this is what you need to do before you can start thinking about personalization, automation, AI agents, all of that. This is the bare minimum, okay? And this itself has the power to start kick off your cold outreach and to get you 50 to 70% open rates and click rate. All right. Okay, so I'm very excited about this, and I'm going to call in my friend here in some time, who is an absolute pro and an expert in this area in email marketing. He has got more than 10 years of experience in email marketing and years of experience in cold email outreach. And the kind of numbers that we have achieved with him is sometimes insane. I have seen a number in which we have got 97% open rate with him and more than 60% click-through rate. I have seen that with my own eyes. I know a lot of people will say, no, this is fake. I know people will say, but you can do miracles if you know what you are doing, right? And that is what my friend Sham here is going to share with all of us, his experience, his rich experience, and something that he has been doing it for the last 10, 12 years now. And then, this can be a platform, a base on which you can build your cold outreach strategy in 2025. Okay. So with that, I think, I'm going to give it to Sham. Yeah. All right. Where he's going to talk about the challenges and personalization and relevance. I think I can talk about this as well, but I sincerely feel that, I'm going to quickly introduce Sham. Sham is my friend and also my colleague, and he's a top-rated freelancer in Upwork and Fiverr. You can check his profile. He also works with me, and he's doing email marketing, inbound as well as outbound. He's an expert in almost all the email marketing tools that I know, and he has also got years of experience in sending cold outreach and cold emails and cold LinkedIn outreach and like so on. So without any further ado, let me introduce you and call upon my friend and absolute email marketing pro, Sham. So you can come in, please.
Thank you, Ritesh. Thank you so much for the introduction. Okay, so you have given a quick introduction to cold email marketing, and I think that would be very beneficial for the people who are on the fence in order to put email marketing in their blueprint, in their marketing blueprint. I'm going to build upon that. Uh, but before that, let me start sharing my screen, and I'll continue from where you just left. Okay, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
All right, let me put it in slideshow mode. All right, so quickly brushing through the challenges of B2B companies when they are trying to generate leads for themselves. There are so many challenges involved in this, starting from whether they should do it in-house, they should do it through some agency or some freelancer, and so on and so forth. Uh, Having said that, lead generation is not everybody's cup of tea. Many companies prefer to hire expert agencies and freelancers to generate leads for them. There are many different ways of generating leads. For example, paid ads is one of the ways. Then putting out social media content is another way. Then reaching out via cold emails is another way, which we are going to talk about in detail today. And there are many other ways apart from that. So if we talk specifically about the challenges of lead generation when we are running cold email campaigns, there is a significant amount of setup and build up is required in order to run successful cold email campaigns. Uh, it sounds very simple when we say cold email, like you can just take somebody's email and email something to them and ask them something, or pitch your product to them or pitch your services to them. But it's easier said than done. If you look at your own inbox, it's very difficult for people to get a reply. You might not even be responding to 70 or 80% of the emails you receive, depending upon what kind of things, what kind of subscriptions you have taken, what kind of communication you are having with other entities on the internet. So it's really difficult to get a response from somebody when we talk about cold email. Also, there are other actions we want our recipient to take. For example, we want them to visit our website, our landing page, or our LinkedIn profile, and so on. But again, it's again easier said than done. It's not that easy to ask somebody to and get them to come to your page just by asking them over email. There are some ground rules we need to set in order to set up a great cold email campaign, and we are going to talk about in the SOP that I am going to present to you in a few minutes time. All right, so let's talk about relevance and personalization. So your email, whatever you are going to send to someone, it should always be relevant. Otherwise, there is no point of sending the email. If you're sending an email about your services, but that person who is receiving it, it belongs to some different target group, they do not find it relevant, then you're just wasting your time and your resources. Similarly, personalization is also very important. We'll come to that a little later as well. But personalization helps your email to be read, actually to be read by real humans. Otherwise, it simply sounds like some random auto-generated email which has been received in the inbox, and that does not bring any kind of outcome for yourself. And we'll also dig a little bit into deep personalization, like you can send the email by telling them, hey Peter, or hey Alex, asking them with their representing them with their name, even their company. But deep personalization comes when you know certain triggers which will help you get a response. For example, you know somebody, some company who has attended an event and you know of it, you can directly refer to them. Like, for example, hey, example, you have attended this event, and I would love to talk about it with you. And by that, you trigger a sense of connection between you and the recipient, because you know what they are up to, you know their activity in the recent past, and you are referring to them using those activities. And that is where the deep personalization comes in, and that is the key to getting more responses and more conversions when you are sending cold email. Okay, so let me quickly move on to the SOP, the standard operation procedure that we follow here to send cold emails. Uh, okay, so the first step of this process is ICP definition and goal setting, which simply means internal customer profile, and setting up the right goals for your email campaign. Without the right goals, you wouldn't even know what you are going to achieve through the cold email, and you are going to go nowhere out of it. It's really important to figure out who the right customer uh, are for your company, for your brand, and set the right goals for it. All right, so I am going to go through some key pointers inside each of those steps mentioned in this presentation. So here we have milestone one, which is email funnel discovery program. So here we discover the exact funnel. Here we talk about the ideal customer profile. We talk about our audience segmentation, what kind of data we are going to collect, what kind of uh, customers are going to receive these kind of emails. All these things are defined here. This is the definition stage of the entire process. So this is the key element. If you get this right, chances are you will get the rest of the things right, because most of the things after this are pretty technical. This is the only part where you have to brainstorm and build relevant customer profiles, relevant audience segmentation, and build a data which you can trust and your systems can trust and bring you good results. Okay, so ideal customer, once you have the ideal customer profile, you can go ahead and make segments based on what kind of emails you want to send, to whom you want to send based on your industry, your demographics, your firmographics, which age group you want to send emails to, which country you want to send emails to. All those things come into picture here. Once you figure that out, you can move on to the next stage, which is making it concrete, which is basically the list building part of the email. So by making it concrete, I mean, uh, once you have those emails, you have sourced those emails, you have received those emails, or you have collected those emails, you need to ensure that you enrich your list. Basically, if
Tom, can
even
you
if,
make it 125% a little bigger?
all right, yeah, let me do that. Okay, is it visible now?
Yeah, it is. Thank you. Please.
Okay. Yeah, so the next step is email list building. Here we make it more robust. The audience segmentation that you have made, we use all those definitions here to build a proper list. We do the prospecting, we do the prospect research, and the very key element here is list enrichment. Imagine you have sourced some 10,000 contacts for your email campaign, but you have no clue whether these contacts are good, bad, or some unknown. They got some unknown reputation. So here we need to enrich the list, and we use there are certain tools out there which help us enrich the list. For example, Clay is out there. Even Apollo to some extent can help you enrich the list. You will get the first name and email, but if you get information like have they received some kind of funding recently, or have they attended some kind of a webinar recently, or have they launched a new product, all those things, all these vital information are really important while enriching the list. You exactly know what to talk about when you have an enriched list. And if you have a segment where you exactly know they have attended, for example, let's say a seminar, you can build that segment separately. You can target them separately with a separate messaging altogether, and it will give you a huge advantage when you are expecting some kind of a response from them. Okay, so list enrichment is really important. Equally important is data verification and cleaning. There are tools out there like Never Bounce and Zero Bounce, and there are so many other tools. They use their own methods of verifying and validating the contact list that you have. Even if you have a contact list of, let's say, 10,000 people, there are chances that a lot of the emails are not worthy of receiving the email, or maybe just uh, bad emails. By bad emails, I mean you should not be sending emails to them because it might put your email server reputation at risk. So we'll come to that as well soon enough. Uh, like I said, email verification, data verification, and cleaning is really important. After you have cleaned the list, you can go ahead and segment the list based on country, based on geography, based on job profile, based on so many other uh, segments, so based on so many other criteria, based on the enriched list that you have built. Okay, once that is done, you can move on to the technical part, which is server and mailbox setup. You need to buy a bunch of domains because remember, your parent domain should be unharmed irrespective of what you are doing with your cold emails. It is always better to use uh, aliases or different domains apart from your parent domain. You don't need to bother, we don't need to use your parent domain at all here. So you need to buy a bunch of domains and you need to buy a bunch of mailboxes for each of these domains. Once you have done that, you need to go ahead and do the configuration, set up DKIM, SVF, and DMARC records, and so on. This is a little technical, but it can be done. It's not too technical, to be honest. It can be done by most of the people. There is a set of steps need to be followed exactly as it is. It's not like a rocket science. This can be done by people who have limited technical knowledge as well. Okay, so now coming to the tool integration, which is, for example, if you have a email marketing, inbound marketing system, or you have a CRM, you want to utilize the outcome of your uh, cold outreach and send qualified contacts or qualified leads to your CRM or inbound marketing system. You need to integrate those tools. You need to make sure that system is present, because otherwise, if you don't do this integration, you have to do it manually. Like you need to download the list and then upload in your system. Again, it's a little time-taking process, and you might miss out uh, on important timeline. For example, somebody has just responded to your cold email. You want your sales team to contact to them right away. So that's why this integration is important. It will do the job for you. You don't need to worry about manually uploading to the CRM. Okay, so now that once you're through this server and mailbox setup, you can go ahead with the setting up the platform. Here you need to yeah, so here you need to, this is basically more or less mentioning the same thing that we explained above. You need to clean the list. You need to use platforms like Neverbounce and other platforms. You need to set up the goal of the platform, like what exactly you want to receive at the end of the cold email process. Like, for example, are you going to simply send emails for awareness, or do you want some kind of replies in return of your emails? Do you want website visits, or do you want some clicks and ebook downloads, or do you want some kind of webinar signups and so on? So all those goals need to be defined and categorized inside the platform. There are many platforms out there, for example, Apollo, Instantly, Smartly, Reply.io, and so on. You can pick up one platform which suits your way of working, which suits your budget and so on. Once you have done that, once you have chosen your cold email platform, you can move on to the strategy part, or you can probably build the strategy first and then do all of this, which I have explained earlier later on. So in email strategy, like I said, goal setting is really important. Email sequence planning is extremely important here. So you need to plan out how exactly you want to tailor these emails for your customers, for your recipients. What will be the first email? Do you want them to respond to the first email? Do you want to want these recipients to click on a link in your first email? Do you want your recipients to book a calendar in your third email, and so on? All those things are planned here. You need to put all those sequences, all the content and copy of the emails inside each of the emails and build a tailor-made sequence for your list. And after that, you need to also ensure that you have a proper value proposition and offer when you're creating those emails. It should be compelling enough for them to take action. Otherwise, it will not give you better results. Okay, so moving on to the next part, which is email content creation. Like I said, you need to write really nice email copy. You need to ensure you have right CTA, body content that compels them to take the action. For example, if you want them to reply to your email, you need to ensure that your body of the email compels them enough to reply to your email. Line is extremely important. This is important because without a nice subject line, you won't get good open rates, and without the good open rates, you won't get good click rates. So subject line is important as well as the body and the CTA are important. So you need to ensure that you are writing the right copy for your audience. All right. So while you're at it, while you're creating the content, you can also do A/B testing. You might have some kind of variations when you're doing cold emails and you're sending your first email of the campaign. You can select, for example, two different subject lines and let the system do the A/B testing for you. You can test out what kind of subjects are working. Uh, you can do various kind of testing. Once you have figured out the right kind of subject that is working for you, then you can do another A/B testing. Like for example, different CTAs. You can send some of the people to your calendar booking. You can ask some other rest of the people to just reply to the email. So you can see what actions they are taking, and based on that, you can adjust your email strategy going forward. So yeah, you need to test your strategy. You need to do this A/B testing on a regular basis, and then only you will get those numbers which Ritesh was talking about earlier, like receiving 90% open rate, 97% open rate, and more than 50-60% uh, click rate, and so on. Okay, so moving on to the next part, which is campaign setup and launch. So here we set up all these things what we have built in the previous steps. We do the email platform setup, we do the email sequence setup. Once all these things are set up in the platform, uh, we move on to the pre-launch testing. Pre-launch testing is nothing but testing your emails internally. Once you are sending emails, you need to ensure they are not going to spam, they are not bouncing off, they are rendering or showing in your devices in a proper formatting. You need to do all this thing within your team internally. Spam testing is a very critical part because without this, your campaign will simply fail and you might even be blacklisted from your platform. Or maybe your IP might get blacklisted. So spam testing has multiple ways of doing it. You can use tools like Mail Tester and Block Apps. Then once all of this testing is done, all of this setup is done, uh, you can do a campaign soft launch. One critical element we have missed over here is, let me see. Yeah, is a very critical element we have missed. This is the part of setup, email warm up. So once you are setting up your platform, email warm up is extremely important. So remember, you have bought new domains, you have bought new mailboxes, but you also need to remember that these emails and mailboxes are never ever used before you have bought them up. So once you bought these domains, once you bought these mailboxes, you need to ensure these are ready to send cold emails. So email warm up is actually quite simple these days. If you take up a tool like reply.io or instantly and other tools like those, they have a dedicated method of email warm up. Once you do this warm up for, let's say, 3 or 4 weeks, then only a mailbox is ready to send your emails. So if I have to put it a timeline in when exactly you are going to send your first cold email campaign, I would say a minimum of 3 to 4 weeks is required for your new domains to warm up. Then only you'll be able to send your first email through those emails which are warmed up. Without warming up, sending cold emails is simply a suicide mission. It will simply land into spam, and you might even get flagged for that. And it will be a very time consuming and difficult process to get back your domain whitelisted. So I would never suggest you to send emails without doing this warm up. Okay, so let's quickly come back to this part where we were launching the campaigns. Yeah, so once the warm up is complete and all these steps are complete, all right. So yeah, all these steps are complete. Then you can go ahead and launch your campaign. You can send initial few emails, let's say 100 to 200 emails to an initial batch of people. Once you ensure that it is working fine, you can monitor the performance and then gradually increase the number of emails you're sending per day. You need to track key metrics matrices, like for example, click-through rate, open rate, reply rate, and so on. So once you see these these matrices, then you would be able to figure out where you are going wrong and where you can improve. So that brings us to the part where we are going to talk about monitoring and optimization. So here we talk about the performance tracking, for example, the click-through rate and open rates I just mentioned. These are the critical elements. The reply rate is also very, very important. If you are expecting a reply in return of your emails, in your return of your cold campaigns, you need to define exact criteria of conversion, like are receiving reply a solid conversion for you, yes or no, right? You need to answer this question. Is a click a conversion to you, yes or no? All these questions need to be answered and track during the optimization process. After that, you can also look into the A/B test analysis. Like I said, you need to do this on a regular basis, testing subject lines, testing CTAs, testing the personalization that you have done inside the email, testing the body content, and so on. You can do all of that and keep optimizing your campaign once it is active. And once you have some significant improvement planned based on your analysis, you can go ahead and refine your sequence and modify based on your findings and see how it performs and keep repeating this process back and forth. Yeah. So coming to the reporting and feedback, you need to keep track of how many emails are sending. Are they being delivered on time? Are you updating your sequence on a weekly basis or in a regular basis? Are you performing a monthly review? How your performance are doing? How your campaigns are doing on a monthly basis? There might be a possibility that your campaigns might perform better on certain days of the week or on certain phases of the month. You need to identify those and tailor made your campaign and adjust your timing and date of sending according to all the review you have done. Okay, so coming to the compliance and best practice, you need to ensure that you are complying with all the laws out there. You need to ensure you are following the GDPR and CCPA compliance. You cannot spam people unnecessarily. Remember that people are not willing to receive spam at all. They are people just like you and me. They want some value. So when you're creating your emails, you need to ensure that you're delivering some kind of value. Otherwise, uh, it might make your emails go into the spam section of their inboxes or their mailboxes. All right. There is a chance that you will receive replies that, hey, simply remove me from your email list. So you need to figure out who are the people who must be opted out of your ongoing campaigns. Okay. Uh, then keep following the best practices, keep warming up new mailboxes, keep adding new mailboxes. And once people are engaging with your email, you need to manage the process of engagement. Like if they're replying, you need to ensure the replies are going to the right direction. Like, for example, somebody says, hey, I am interested in what you are talking about. You need to ensure that this particular lead goes to the sales team right away. Okay, so let me go back to the slides. This completes the overall SOP. I'll come quickly talk about this slide here. All right, so we have mentioned almost everything here. So once the leads are qualified, you need to sync it to the CRM so that the sales team is aware what has to be done with these qualified leads. Okay, so once all of this is done, you need to just keep building proper reports, keep optimizing the campaign, and keep reiterating the entire process from the first step itself. Okay, moving. So this concludes the entire SOP of cold outreach process. So here I'm going to give you some use cases, some unique scenarios. Some of the scenarios we have already worked on. Some of the scenarios are made up, but these are real life use cases that people are using cold emails for. So, for example, we are talking about a SaaS startup which is related to HR managers or the human resource category. So here the ICP is defined, the internal customer profile is defined as HR managers at mid-sized companies. Uh, So here, what can be done is you can use Apollo and LinkedIn Sales Navigator for building the list. After this, you can take this list to Never Bounce, clean the list. Once that is done, you can go ahead and uh, figure out the right triggers for this campaign. Like for example, uh, a recent hiring spikes. So, for example, if the HR managers are in hiring spree or posting a lot of LinkedIn jobs and in other job portals, if you figure that out, that this company is posting a lot of jobs, uh, a startup which is dealing in HR tech can do this kind of stuff is using cold email. For example, the result could be booking of multiple demos in upcoming weeks. So, which is great for these startups who are into HR tech. Then let's talk about another use case here. This is an ABM campaign, account-based marketing campaign for cybersecurity vendor. Imagine there is a cybersecurity company who wants to break into the Fortune 1000 companies, and they want to target the chief information officers or cybersecurity officers of uh, top the top companies out there in the world. So what they are going to do, they want to tailor made their strategy. They want to figure out the right set of people that they can target. This is laser targeted audience I'm talking about. Like for example, the chief security officers, chief information security officers of Microsoft, Google, and the likes, right? So what they can do is they can go to play.com, they can find out these people, their job profile, where they are located, what they are up to. They can also go to CareerBit. They can find out they have they received any kind of funding, have they taken any corporate action, and a lot of company information. All of this information is really important to personalize your emails. This is where the relevance becomes deep personalization, which I talked about in the beginning of the webinar. So deep personalization is really important, and tools like Clay and Clearbit will give you this deep personalization, which we could have never done, let's say, 15 years back. Okay, so it's really easy these days to do this kind of deep personalization. You can know what these companies are up to. You can know what these senior management people are up to, and tailor made your outreach strategy exactly based on what they are doing in the recent times. Okay, outcome could be as much as 15% or even more reply rate, and you can build up your pipeline by doing this kind of tailor-made campaign. All right, another example here. Here the customer profile is clinic owners or directors. So we are talking about a healthcare firm trying to expand regionally. So what they want, they want clinic owners or local clinics to sign up to their platform. And here they're trying to target Midwest clinics. And what they can do here is they can go to Apollo, build their list, clean their list in Never Bounce, personalize by city, which is regional personalization, and they can book clinic meetings, or they can even sign them up for free demos or free trial period and so on. So once the deal is signed, if they like the platform, it can be a huge conversion for them. And this is the kind of impact that cold email can bring for your campaigns. And these kind of things are happening in real life. These are the results that people are getting. So cold email is magic if it works, but it needs exact SOP, which I just showed to you. You need to follow the proper method of doing the cold email. And once you do that, you will see these kind of numbers in your dashboard. So these are some of the campaigns that we have run recently, and you can see the open rates 99%, 98%. This could be a very cold list, which is 30%, and again 43%. But you see here, there are none of these are less than 30%. So even if even if the list is extremely cold, they have no idea what we are going to talk about in our first email. Then also we are getting some 30% open rate, which is incredible. And then you can see the click rate. It is also some enormous numbers, like 99% clicked, 28% clicked, 38%, and so on. So if your subject line is great, you will get open rates like this. If they are able to relate to the subject line, they are going to open the email. And if once they open the email, if they can relate to the body of the email, if they are interested in what you're talking about in the body of the email, they are going to click on the link that you have provided in the email. And in some cases, if you're asking them to reply or asking for some conversation with them, you might also get a reply. Here you can see reply is sorry about that. Yeah, here you can see there's one reply received, which is incredible. If you ask me, it's very difficult to get positive replies these days. If you're getting one positive reply, it's a big lead for your sales team, and it's a hands off to the sales team. You can simply hand them off to sales team. Okay, here you can see there are 8 people who replied. So here you can see real life analytics, like how many emails are sent, how many are opened, then there are click rates, and there are also some bounces over here. This is how a typical analytics dashboard will look like once you are starting to send cold emails. And all you want to do is send, even if you send, let's say, only 100 emails, but you want them to open it, you want them to be relatable, you want them to feel like this email is actually written to them, not just auto-generated email by someone. And you want them to take the action like click or replies and so on. Okay, so once you follow all of this process, you go through all of this hassle, what happens then? At some point of time there will be this winning moment where you will get this tag that people are will get this action where people will say I am interested, right? For example, the person has booked an invite with one of our clients, right? So this is a big moment for the sales team. This is where they can jump in and pitch their services or the products that they are selling, and they exactly know what to do because they know with what kind of communication or with what kind of messaging you have brought them to this meeting. And this is a huge win for a pre-sales team or the cold email team who are sending these cold emails. And these are the winning moments we want once we start doing these cold outreach campaigns. Okay, so I think that concludes my presentation. Ritesh has already given my introduction. I'm not going to bore you with that. So, all right.
You
So,
should go ahead and talk about a little bit about yourself and what you do. Shyam,
well,
please do that. And
okay.
also,
So,
I have a request if you can give this SOP
yeah,
to our audience, that'll be great.
of course.
It's a simple spreadsheet in which you have laid down very intricately all the details of
Yeah,
your steps. I think what we are going to do is we're going to release this particular webinar on YouTube
sure.
and on LinkedIn, and we'll see if we get certain number of comments. Then we are going to just release this particular SOP in the description. Okay,
Of
for
course.
people to
Sure.
do that. So just please go ahead and comment SOP in the comment section in YouTube if you're seeing it this in YouTube already. And we if we reach say 50 comment, then we are going to just give out this SOP link in the description. Okay, so that you can just download it. All right. Okay, go ahead,
Sure.
Sham.
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I've been building sales funnels since many years, more than 10 years now. I work with companies. I help them build their cold email systems. It's a typical system. I follow the SOP I just showed you. It's not a straightforward process. It takes a lot of back and forth. Takes a lot of monitoring. And once everything is said and done, everything is set up, we run the campaigns and we get the result for our clients. So that is all I do. I just try to ensure that their sales team is busy handling these leads that we can generate using systems like such as cold outreach campaign that I just showed you, or the cold outreach system that I showed you. Okay,
All
so
right.
I
So
think that is
quickly, I
it.
have a
Yeah,
question, Sham.
yeah,
How long typically it takes for you to go from step one to step
yeah,
20, whatever the steps are?
yeah. Let me go
How
back.
many in terms of weeks does it take for you to go ahead and complete the entire process of cold email
That's
setup?
a That's a very interesting question, Ritesh. If you see here, there are multiple, it's more than 10 steps involved here. Um, but from going from step one to last step, it takes a significant amount of time. Having said that, the initial setup phase is the most critical part because if you set up well, if you set up following this SOP that I just displayed and explained, uh, you would be able to start sending the emails right from the second month onwards, or let's say the 31st day onwards. So somewhere around fourth week or fifth week, you should be able to start sending these emails. And once you start sending these emails, you should be uh, deep into it. You should start getting some kind of results, let's say 60 or 90 days inside the system, running the system and optimizing the system. So it takes a while because this system is learning your approach. The receiving systems, I'm talking about Microsoft, Google, because most of the receiving emails are in Outlook or in Gmail, Google Workspace. So these systems filter out bad emails, and you need to stand out from those bad emails. That is why this type of approach, this SOP is important. You want to land in their inbox, not in their spam. And to build a system like that, where these systems like Google Workspace and Outlook wouldn't mark you as a spam, it takes a while. And once you are in the right track, at certain point you'll be able to receive the kind of response that you are expecting. Like for example, you're expecting somebody reply to your email, you would get that reply sooner or later. I would say 90 days is a good time frame. After that, you would start getting a decent result if you follow this SOP, this standard operating procedure.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah,
So it's anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks before we start sending the emails, right?
true. Yes,
Okay,
yes,
perfect, perfect. All right, I think this is very comprehensive. I think we are going to release this information on social media and other places as well. Thank you so much, Shyam, for your time. This is absolutely valuable content, and I hope to see you in the upcoming days, where
of
we are
course,
going to drill
sure.
down on, possibly each and every step, and maybe we can create
Yes,
more content around that. So this is just one of the first of the series of webinars that I'm going to have with you, Sham, and
sure.
in upcoming webinars, I would also be really interested to learn from you in terms of how you're using AI and automation,
Mhm.
in this entire process. Okay. So thank you so
Definitely.
much. Thanks you so much for all the audience for joining in. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you, Ritesh. Thank you, everyone.